The history of the BIP began in 1974 when the Palmer Township Board of Supervisors was considering a business privilege tax. During the ordinance development, several business leaders in the township spoke against the tax. However, on May 31, 1974, the board enacted the ordinance which imposed the tax on the business community. Unlike the business owners objecting to the King's tax in Boston in 1773, the Palmer business owners did not go to the 25th Street Bridge and throw tea boxes into the Lehigh River. Instead, they came together to begin the formulation of an organization interested in better lines of communication within the township. The first planning meeting was held in April 1975, which was then followed by two subsequent meetings in response to an increasing interest from the business community. Temporary Chairman Al Sieg envisioned the BIP as providing a direct line of communications to our government and to speak to any and all issues of interest to our commercial community. On March 17, 1976, a group of 33 Palmer business leaders met at the Chesterfield Manor to form the BIP. Elected founding president was Richard Cowell. Other officers included Vice President Richard Principato, Secretary Mark Hammerstone, and Treasurer Peg Kennedy. The first board of directors included Bernard Altman, Nat Albee, Clifford Case, and Bob Dawes. At that meeting, President Cowell stated, "The BIP will serve to inform and share our common concerns, as well as be a forum through which we can assess the climate for good business, industrial, and professional development in Palmer Township. If improvements need to be made, the BIP will express its views where needed." At its reorganization meeting in 1977, the Board of Supervisors voted to join the BIP, thus making the BIP a form of business-government partnership, which continues today. The first Civic Trust Luncheon was held in January 1977 at the Cross Timbers Restaurant, and at that time 9 Palmer businesses were recognized. At the second annual Civic Trust Award event, the first Booster Award was given to Marlon Miller, who was the prime mover in undertaking the construction of the Palmer Lions Pool, which has been a great asset to the township for many years. Beginning in 1978, Charlie Roseberry, BIP president at the time, began the planning for the biggest BIP project to date, the Palmer Memorial Library. Here is Charlie to tell his story.
When I became president of the BIP, the membership was somewhat in decline, mainly because we didn't have a lot of activities. And I was looking for something to generate enthusiasm for the organization. And I was talking to my wife about it, and she said, "Well, why don't we look into building a new library?" She said the library in the center of the township was old, the roof leaked, didn't have many buildings. And I thought that would be, gee, like motherhood, apple pie, and waving the flag, and I wouldn't have a problem. It was an easy project to work on. Until the Eastern School Board, who financed the project, the library, they were financing, although the library had a separate board, objected to this. And it became a difficult battle to try to raise money. We set a budget of $800,000 that we thought we could raise. And then we started it. We wanted to have the township involved. So we asked the township supervisors to a luncheon. Not to talk, but to listen. And we told them about our ideas of going ahead to try to raise money to build a branch library. Well, the leader of the Eastern School Board was afraid that we would be taking too many people out of the Eastern Public Library. And they, of course, financed it. So she objected to that because they didn't want to lose any customers to Palmer Township. And she was telling people that we were going to build a Taj Mahal And so I said, no, it's going to be a basic library. My original vision was a small building, maybe a small open ranch type thing. Then we got heavily involved in it, and Ralph Pitcock became involved from the Pitcock Company. And he helped us with the design of the building, and actually made the first design. We then got an agreement with the supervisors to use the land that Carl Weller had donated to the township for the municipal building. Well, the supervisor said we could use the land, but they wanted a conference room, a meeting room, for their meetings, which we had to provide in order to be able to use the land. And we did. And we went to Carl Weller, and he became our largest individual contributor to the library, because well, his wife was very involved in libraries and liked them very much. And he was a very benevolent guy who helped work for Palmer Township. And that's how we got the land and how we got the money. The first bids come in, and we had said this was going to be public. This was going to be $800,000, no more. Of course, the bids come in at $1,300,000. I saw those, and I called Ralph on the phone immediately. I said, take those bids and rip them up. We're going to rebid this. He said, we're not going to be over $800,000. And so we did. We had to cut down on the meeting room, which was quite a lavish thing when we originally designed it. We had the supervisors up on the stage. We had a kitchen there. We had a lot of nice amenities in there. It would have been very nice, just too expensive. So what we got was a meeting room, which we're still using today. And in fact, it gets a lot of use. But that's actually how we got going with the library project. A lot of people were involved.
In 1989, the BIP, under the leadership of President Carl Kerpora, organized a book drive to fill the shelves of the new library. Carl Weller provided an incentive by offering to match all donations up to $50,000 to buy new books. The BIP continues the Buy a Book program today, which supports the library. Through the late 1970s and early 1980s, there was considerable discussion addressing the need for a branch of the Easton Post Office in Palmer. The BIP became involved in 1980 when they conducted a survey of the business community to determine their desire for a Palmer branch. Due to the positive results of this survey, the BIP became involved in lobbying the U.S. Postal Service and Congressman Don Ritter. With the BIP's help, a branch was established on Stone's Crossing in the spring of 1982. In 1988, a full post office was opened at its present location on Greenwood Avenue. Through the years, there have been many other community projects and programs that the members of the BIP have taken on. In 1979, the BIP began the project of putting Welcome to Palmer signs at each entrance to the township. Since 1987, the BIP has funded and managed the maintenance of the entrance and exit ramps from Route 22 at 25th Street. In addition, directional signs are provided for businesses that request this service. In July 1996, the BIP replaced the plywood sign at the municipal complex with a new brick sign, sharing the cost equally with the township. The landscaping was updated in 2015, funded fully by the BIP. In 1997, the BIP began a program called Pride in Palmer, which recognizes those township businesses that use Palmer Township in their advertising. In the picture, President Dave Culver provides the Pride in Palmer Award to 3 township businesses. This program has continued since that date. In 2003, Crayola celebrated their 100th anniversary with a parade in Easton. To recognize this business that began in Palmer as Binney and Smith, the BIP entered a float in their parade. For the past 15 years, the BIP has participated in the Palmer Community Days by having a booth and giving out free popcorn and showing BIP's commitment to the community. For the past 15 years, the BIP has given scholarships to the graduating high school students who are BIP members' children and/or employees. The funding for this program has come from some members of the BIP, along with money raised at the casino night, which has been held for the past several years jointly with the Forks Business Group and the Easton Division of the Greater Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce. Since 2005, there have been several more township community projects which the BIP has initiated and funded. These projects represent a total of approximately $190,000, with the majority of the money being raised through the annual golf outing held at the Riverview Country Club, which has been a major sponsor of this event. In 2012, board member Jeff Kiska presented the idea of the BIP sponsoring a 5K race on the Saturday morning of the Palmer Community Days. The Palmer 5K has become an annual event, with the majority of the proceeds going to the Miracle League of Northampton County. Looking back in history, it is evident that the BIP has accomplished many projects to benefit the Palmer community. Also, during these years, there have been numerous business luncheons with business-related speeches, along with occasional mixers to allow members to network. Whether it is a luncheon or a mixer or any other BIP-sponsored event, someone from the government of Palmer is always there to be available to the business community. For the past 40 years, the BIP has held the Civic Trust Award Banquet and has been very proud to honor many Palmer businesses, organizations, and individuals for the contributions they have made to the township's overall community in enhancing the saying that Palmer is a great place to live, work, and play. The mission of the Business, Industrial, and Professional Association of Palmer Township is to help promote the climate of commerce in Palmer Township and serve the welfare of the community as a whole. Through the years, the BIP has fulfilled this mission, and as a small community business organization, it is unique in the Lehigh Valley.